Derived Aryan were governed by A. Monarchical government. Answer and solution discuss in board save for later. 2. In the early Vedic period, Varna system was based on A. Occupation. 3. Ayurveda has its origin in A. Atharva Veda. 4. What does Yajur Veda contain? A. Hymns and rituals. 5. The Rega Veda consists of A. 1028. 6 ft. What is the meaning of bhava in rasa theory? A. Existence or mental state, feelings, psychological states, emotions. 7. Which is considered to be fifth Veda in India? A. Bharat Muni's Nadi Shastra. 8. Bharat Muni complied the meaning of rasa in one sentence. A. Rasiyat anena iti rasa. 9. How many sthayi bhava are there in Bharat Muni's Natya Shastra? A. 8. 10. What is the second name of Vibhavas? A. Anubhavas. 11. What does Divani mean? A. Sound or resonance. 12. Which is the primary text of Divani? A. Anandvardhana's Dh Vanaloka. 13. Which is mentioned as the soul of poetry? A. Divani or suggestion. 14. Which are the threefold function of kavya in Divani theory? A. 1. Abhida, denotation. 2. Lakshana, indication. 3. Vyanyana, suggestion. 15. Divani is divided into three varieties. A. 1. Vastu Divani. 2. Alakara Divani. 3. Rasa, Davni. 16. Who lays stress on alamkara, the figurative ornamentation? A. Bhamasa. 17. How many groups are alakara divided by Bhamasa? A. 4 groups. 18. Who defined kavya as sabdarthau sahitau kavyam? A. Bhamasa. 19. In which book Dandi said every poem needs a body and alamakara? A. Kavyadarsha. 20. Dandi discusses two kinds of alamkara in kavya. A. 1. Sabda alamkara. 2. Artha alamkara. 21. What does riti mean? A. Diction, style, rhythm. 22. Who is revered as the originator and exponent of riti school? A. Vamana. 23. Who said Vakrokti is the essence of poetic speech, Kavikti, the very life, Jivika, of poetry? A. Kantaka. 25. Who is believed to be the pioneer in establishing the concept of Achadiya? A. Shamendra. Part 2. Multiple choice questions. 1. Brahma in originating the Natyaveda has borrowed the art of effective speech from blank. A. RG Veda B, Sama Veda C, Yajurveda D, Atharva Veda. 2. According to underscore blank, there were 3 preceding books of Natyasastra attributed to Brahma Bharatha, Sadasiva Bharatha and Datta A. Abhinavabharati B, Lokana C, Kavyasastra D, Dh Vanyaloka. 3. According to blank, a twice-born should not take food from an actor. A. Bharatha B, Manu C, Bhamaha D, Dandan. 4. Blank, is also known as the fifth Veda. At Natyasastra B, Kavyasastra C, Alamkarasastra D, none of these. 5. Natyasastra is divided into blank chapters. A 33b, 34c, 36d, 32. 6. Purusharthas are ____ in number. A 4b, 3c, 5d, 6. 7. Brahma in originating Natyaveda has borrowed acting from blank Veda. A. RG Veda B, Samaveda C, Yajurveda D, Atharva Veda. 8. Brahma in originating Natyaveda has borrowed rasas from blank Veda. A. RG Veda B, Samaveda C, Yajurveda D, Atharva Veda. 9. According to blank, poetry is a happy fusion of sabda and artha. A. Bharatha B, Bhamaha C, Abhinavapta D, Anadavardhana. 10. Blank coined the term aesthetics. A. Baumgarten B, Immanuel Kant C, Aristotle D, Plato. 11. According to blank, aesthetics is a science of sense cognition. A. Plato B, Immanuel Kant C, Aristotle D, Baumgarten. 12. The word soundarya stands for the concept blank underscore of an Indian aesthetics. A. Experience B, enjoyment C, art D, beauty. 13. The earliest attempt to define art is found in _____ Brahmana. A. Aitareya B, Mandaka C, Mandukya D, Brataranyaka. 14. Blank, is the author of Aesthetica. A. Kant B, Hegel C, Baumgarten D, Plato. 15. Blank, is Aristotle's work on tragedy. A. Republic B, Poetics C, Critique of Judgment D, Lectures on Aesthetics. 16. Immanuel Kant discusses his aesthetic theory in blank. A. Republic B, Poetics C, Critique of Judgment D, Lectures on Aesthetics. 17. On Sublime by blank is one of the important work of Greco-Roman literature. A. Longinus b. Plato c. Aristotle d. Kant. 18. Blank is the first known and extant work on dramaturgy in Indian tradition. At Natyasastra b. Kavyasastra c. Alamkarasastra d. None of these. 19. Blank is the first known author of poetics. A. Bharatha b. Bhamaha c. Badalalada d. Sankuka. 20. According to blank, a performance of drama is concerned with achieving certain siddhis. A. Bhamaha b. Bharatha c. Badalalada d. Sankuka. 21. Blank is the author of Malavikagnamitram. A. Bana b. Kalidasa c. Bharatha d. Bhamaha. 22. Blank is the author of Rasagangadhara. A. Bharatha b. Jagannatha c. Bhamaha d. Bhadanayaka. 23. The earliest traces of technique of architecture are found in blank Veda. A. Rik b. Yajur c. Sama d. Atharva. 24. In blank Purana there are 2 chapters dealing with architecture. A. Matsya b. Vayu c. Skanda d. None of these. 25. Upanishads blank and the Bhagavad Gita are collectively called the Prasthana 3. A. Brahma Sutras b. Yajurvedic, Samaveda d. Yoga Sutra. 26. The founder of Nyaya school is underscore blank. A. Kapila b. Gautama c. Patanjali d. Sankara. 27. According to blank, Atman is the same as the Brahman. A. Sankhya b. Yoga c. Nyaya d. Vedanta. 28. According to blank underscore art is mimesis. A. Plato b. Kant c. Hegel d. Bharatha. 29. Both Bharatha and Aristotle were primarily concerned with blank. A. Dance b. Architecture c. Drama d. Music. 30. According to blank, right knowledge is the knowledge of the separation of Purusa from Prakriti. At Samkhya b. Yoga c. Nyaya d. Vaisesika. 31. Blank is the founder of Samkhya system. A. Bharathab Panini c. Patanjali d. Kapila. 32. Brahma Sutra is the basic text of blank school of Indian philosophy. At Nyaya b. Vaisesika c. Sankhya d. Vedanta. 33. According to blank, nature is not wholly beautiful. A. Vedanta b. Sankhya c. Yoga d. Nyaya. 34. Purusa according to Samkhya conception is absolutely blank. A. Active b. Inert c. Passive d. None of these. 35. According blank, nature is wholly beautiful. A. Vedanta b. Sankhya c. Yoga d. Nyaya. 36. Blank is the author of Sankhyakarika. A. Dhananjaya b. Abhinava c. Kapila d. Ivarakarshna. 37. Vakaspadamisra wrote a commentary on blank. At Sankhya Sutra b. Sankhyakarika c. Kavyasastrat Kavyalamkara. 38. According to Samkhya theory and aesthetic experience the subject is free from the blank gunas. At Sattvika and Rajas b. Sattvika and Thamas c. Rajas and Thamas d. None of these. 39. According to Samkhya philosophy everything is made up of blank gunas. At 3b, 4c, 5d, 6. 40. Sankhya aesthetics is blank. A. Pessimistic b. Optimistic c. Botha and bd. None of these. 41. According to blank underscore artistic attitude is characterized by a temporary forgetting of our individuality. A. Vedanta b. Sankhya c. Yoga d. Nyaya. 42. The aim art according to Samkhya and Vedanta is to induce blank. A. Detachment b. Attachment c. Botha and bd. None of these. 43. According to blank, artistic attitude offers an escape from the natural world. At Nyaya b. Yoga c. Advaita d. Sankhya. 44. Vedanta aesthetics is blank. A. Pessimistic b. Optimistic c. Botha and bd. None of these. 45. Prakriti and Purusa are the 2 realities according to blank system. A. Advaita b. Samkhya c. Nyaya d. Yoga. 46. According to pessimistic blank, nature is not wholly beautiful. At Nyaya b. Yoga c. Samkhya d. Vedanta. 47. Vibhavanubhava Vyabhichara Samyogadrasanaspati is the blank. At Yoga Sutra b. Rasa Sutra c. Bhagyasukta d. None of these. 48. According to the Rasa Sutra of Bharata the birth rasa takes place out of the combination of blank, Anubhava and Vyabhicharabhava. A. Vibhava b. Sthayibhava c. Sattvakabhava d. None of these. 49. According to blank, rasa is a permanent mental state intensified by determinants, consequence and transitory emotions. A. Bhadanayaka b. Bhadalalada c. Sankuka d. Bhadatata. 50. According to Bharatha, blank is the expression of mental states. Abhava B, Rasak, Vaibhava D, none of these. 51. Badalalata was not concerned about blank view of rasa. A character B, actor C, spectator D, none of these. 52. According to blank, rasa is the permanent mental state raised to the highest pitch by the combined effects of the determinants, consequence and transitory mental states. A Badalalata B, Badanayaka C, Abhinavapta D, Anandavardhana. 53. According to blank, underscore rasa is not an intensified state but an imitated mental state. At Sankuka B, Badalalata C, Bharatha D, Badanayaka. 54. Blank, is the author of Kavyakatuka. A Bharatha B, Badanayaka C, Badalalata D, Bhadatata. 55. Blank, is the special power words in poetry and drama assume. According Badanayaka, a Abhatha B, Bhavana C, Vyanyana D, none of these. 56. The concept of blank is Badanayaka's main contribution to Indian aesthetics. A Dhvani B, Alamkara C, Sadarana Karana D, none of these. 57. According to Badanayaka, aesthetic experience is not noetic in character, but it is a kind of blank. A Bhava B, Anubhava C, Bhoga D, Vyabhicharabhava. 58. Blank, held the view that the essence of poetical language is metaphorical function of words. A Udvada B, Bharatha C, Badanayaka D, Badalalata. 59. According to blank, these khandri function of language does not imply poetry. A Anandavardhana B, Abhinavapta C, Badanayakad, Badalalata. 60. Blank, held the view that poetic meaning is not understood by mere learning of grammar and poetry. A Anandavardhana B, Abhinavaptak, Badanayaka D, Badalalata. 61. In blank, kavya conventional meaning are subordinate. A Abhatha B, Lakshana C, Dhvani D, none of these. 62. The Ninthrasa according to Abhinavapta is blank. At Soka B, Hasya C, Sringara D, Santa. 63. Aesthetic experience is blank, ordinary experience and religious experience. At same as B, different from C, Botha and BD, none of these. 64. Abhinavapta takes the idea of Sadarana Karana from blank. A Badanayaka B, Badalalata C, Anandavardhana, Sankuka. 65. According to blank, rasa is not limited by any difference of space, time and knowing subject. A Badanayaka B, Abhinavapta C, Badalalata D, Sankuka. 66. Unlike blank, Abhinavapta separates the boundaries between aesthetic and mystical experience. A Badanayaka B, Bharatha C, Lalata D, Sankuka. 67. Satvikabhavas are blank in number. A 4B, 6C, 8D2. 68 blank are 33 in number. At Satvikabhava B, Stayibhava C, Vyabhicharabhava D, Anubhava. 69 blank is the author of Kavyaprakasadarsha. Of Maheshvara B, Bharata C, Vidya.